Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jarrett Goes to the Movies, a weekly podcast where Jarrett Reddick and friends get together and talk about a movie that they watched that week. Plus, whatever the hell else is on their minds. Get ready for the best hour and a half you'll have in the next hour and a half. Here they are, Eric, Casey, Sean, Amy, and because he's famous, his name's on the show, Jarrett. Welcome to Jarrett Goes to the Movies.
Thank you. Thank you very much, oh Mr. Roboto, for helping me escape when I needed it. Thank you. Hey, welcome to Jarrett Goes to the Movies, everybody. We have a special treat for you guys. The amazing summer 1989 comedy hit, Driving Miss Daisy, we'll be talking about today. And so I cried during this, of course, but not until the very last scene. And I think that I think that's by design. I think they didn't really make it sad or like a cry-worthy thing. You know, it was just more.
Got me twice.
Did it?
Yeah.
What was the other part?
Watching the Martin Luther King speech.
Okay, I get that. Where you because that's just all the feels. I couldn't. Again, I was taking notes and trying to decide what I wanted to write down about it. But the end of it. So that leads me to. We got home the other night, and this was Saturday. So Everett had a baseball game. Casey and I had just gotten home on Friday. We go to his baseball game, and then Amy took him to Henry's birthday, and they went and they had a great time. And then you took him some more, and they played and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So then I went and picked him up, and we were going to watch a movie. Now, if you can't hear, I have a bit of a sinus infection. I'm fine. I just, I'm stuffy and it does. I don't know what shot between the eyes feels like, but I'm pretty sure this is it. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how it could be worse than this, you know? So, anyway, it just feels exactly like I got shot between the eyes. And so, if I'm a little more sniffy and here's the other thing today, Matt from Chuck E. Cheese goes, hey, man, you up for doing the Christmas shows in the next couple of days? And I go, well, if you want Chucky to sound like he got a Christmas cold.
Yeah, why not? Make it realistic.
Hey, it's your... Merry Christmas. Anyway...
hey, it's your good buddy Chuck E. Cheese here.
So we get home and I honestly, this is the first time that I've ever taken notice of this. So my throat's a little swollen that night. Now I'm fine, but and I'm all stuffed up and I can't breathe out of my nose and my head hurts. And we're going to watch something. And I feel like we're steering it to like a classic or something. Casey said some movie and I was like, yeah, let's watch that. And then Everett just goes, let's watch Up. And I'm like,
oh, no.
So I'm going to be honest. I didn't remember it being like this. I mean, like, I remember that like the first part of it is rough. But little did I remember that it's a 4-cry movie for me.
Oh, yeah.
4. And it is. So when I had no idea how hard it is to not cry at a movie, but you're still crying. You know what I'm talking about? How like you hold it in, and so you're kind of doing the sniff thing, but your eyes water, and it's kind of in the back.
Try to blink really quick.
Yeah, so that was.
Hopefully the tears don't fall.
No, I don't mind the tears falling. Anyway, that's really hard to do with a sinus infection. I need to just let it out. But my child is now to that age where he's 9 and he's not as impacted by everything as I am. And so he just keeps looking over and going, you going to cry, Daddy? Hey, Daddy, you going to cry? You going to cry? And I'm like,
Everett used to be a movie crier too when he was little. So that's kind of weird. It's like he's getting to that age.
Didn't he also used to be a music crier?
Oh, yeah.
A music crier?
Yeah. He like emotional songs would get him all the time back in the day. That kind of still happens. I feel like he'll go, this song makes me very emotional.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Anyway.
Well, don't let him listen to the 1989 Don Henley classic album, End of Innocence, because it would tear the kid's heart apart.
Okay, I'll be sure not to.
Yeah, we won't do that. But anyway, only reason I thought about that story is because I kind of felt that way again at the end of this movie. And this movie actually reminded me of the end of The Innocents in just so many ways.
It reminded me of the end of The Innocents. If in the end of The Innocents, all you wanted to do besides dance for an hour and a half was throw an old lady out a window.
Yeah. I wonder what you're going to think about this. I'm actually I'm excited to talk about this movie. And I'll get into that as we get into it, later. But there's some aspects of this that have come up before that I think we have to start looking at before we pick a movie and realize, okay, this is going to be how this goes. I'll explain that when we get a little closer.
I have a question before we get any further. Who picked this movie?
I think I did.
Okay.
And I don't know why. I think it must have come up.
I know why.
Why?
It came up during not Love Guru, whatever one we did before that. It came up during the show.
Yeah.
And then right after we did our scheduling call our scheduling meeting.
Yeah.
And then it was Driving Miss Daisy. And we tried to convince you to do Driving Miss Daisy 2, Driving to Daisier.
Okay, right. But yeah, you did do that.
2 Driving to Daisier.
Sure.
We didn't.
Yeah, we didn't do that. So yes, I did pick this. And you know what? This was the best. This was the motion picture of the year and actress of the year.
I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm again going to explain why either this is a great pick and we have to adjust our thinking about it, or it's a terrible pick for this show. And I'll get into that after we watch the first clip. But before that, we're talking about the movie Driving Miss Daisy. And I just need to let you guys know, once again, as always, this is a Patreon-driven show. We don't have commercials or anything like that. All of our support comes from our listeners. You can be part of the winning team for as little as $1 a month by just going to patreon.com/JarrettGoesToTheMovies. And it's better than just being on some Patreon thing. We're a family over here. So, and we're happy to have you. So come join in. As I said, $1 a month, not an episode. Some things are like per episode. So, and for $5 a month, you start getting some really, really cool shit. This is a David Dooley and Woody Chambers production. All of our producers are at the $20 or above level, and they are Ad Craner, Amy Strongbottom Pittsinger, Andy Smith, Angie Thorin, Brian Mason, Brian Sullivan, Brian Dunning, Shell Ordway, Chris the $12 Million Man Cranfill, Chris Jacobs, Corey Reed, Daniel Cotton, David Dooley, David Kendrick, David the Original Murray, Dennis Hopp, Denny Chambers, Diana Wheeler, Diane Small, Dom Surfin' Bird Petretta, Ernie Soulman McCracken, Fonda Cox, Fonda?
Yeah, I think it's Fonda.
Oh, Fonda Cox. Oh, okay, I got it.
Quite fond, really.
Really Fonda Cox. God damn it, Gage Strickland. Gregory Cordone, Greg Lee, Greg the Hammer Stevens, a Hangover You Don't Deserve podcast, Jared Spear, Dr. Jason Ellsworth, and Kidney Pete, Jay Palladino, Jeff Millman, Jeff Yeager, fucking Joe Barlow, Rat Pack, Joey Bishop, John Gickler, Joseph Richards, Josh Hanlon, Josh Millman, MVP Kate Etro, Katie Gardner, Kim Frosting on the Beater, Murphy, Kirsty Fisher, Lily Hallahan, Lindsay Sponsor, Lisa Winsell, Lucy Murray, Mandy Birch, Mandy Pretty, Melody Ortloff, Michael McClary, Michael Price, Mike Breton, Mike Leblanovitz, Rick Brignoni, Rodon James, Ray Elliott, Rich Osborne, Robert, Dirty Muffins O'Doyen, Ryan Clydesdale, Sarah, The Undertaker DeAngelis, Sean Blackstone, Sean Barger, Steve May, Steve Rhodes, Tom, National Nutmeg Murray, Trey Wren, Vinny, No Fucking Clue Cataldo, Wendy, What's a Madda, and Woody Chambers, and of course, Svi Hurst, everybody. Give it up for all of our amazing supporters. We're going to talk about Driving Miss Daisy, 1989 movie based upon a 1987 play. That struck me. Usually I feel like plays are out a longer time before they actually make a movie about it. It must have just done very well right away. 1989 comedy drama, they say. Hour and 30 minutes. 7.4 on IMDb, and 82%. 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. The budget.
I would be interested to hear. What was it? 7.2.
Yes, 7.4. 7.4 on IMDb.
7.4. Yeah, I understand that you could pick this movie apart, I guess, in some minor ways.
Yeah.
But as a overall, for that to be enough for almost 25% of the people not to like it,
yeah,
is that's kind of crazy to me.
I have a lot of thoughts about that, and maybe that's sort of the substance of this show. The budget was $7.5 million. They made $146 million. That today that'd be $18 million with $355 million.
Wow,
being the thing.
That's great.
So to put some more into perspective, back then a can of salmon was 33 cents. Today, $17.84 for a can of salmon. So
inflation's a real bitch.
Now, Eric, had you seen this movie before?
No, but this movie has been so much in the public consciousness that I had a pretty good idea what I was getting into.
Right. Well, did you do a pre-synopsis for us?
I did.
All right.
Over to Eric for his pre-synopsis.
A look at racism, prejudice, and power dynamics through the eyes of a rich white lady and her black driver.
Oh, that's your made up one?
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
All right.
Yeah, it's better than the one I found on Internet Movie Database for the
Over to Eric for his synopsis.
An old Jewish woman and her African-American chauffeur in the American South have a relationship that grows and improves over the years.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I
not
mean,
the best I've heard.
I don't know.
That makes it sound like that there's an arc to Jessica Tandy's character, Daisy, that really there is no arc. She's always horrible with slight moments of kind of, you almost feel like there's going to be this breakthrough and all of a sudden they're going to be having holidays together, and they're not, because next scene she's going to tell him to shut up and don't look at her and whatever.
Yeah.
So
I don't feel
I
like
think
she
that was the
becomes
most
more
confusing
pleasant.
part.
He finds it more endearing, like over time. Like,
Yeah. I think that this is sort of like a middle of the road look at what that relationship would have been like for real. Like, I think that in many instances, that they never become friendly, as far as like being friends in real life or him being treated, not that he's ever treated as an equal, but even being treated remotely as a human being.
but the only
Or
thing
just like
changing
getting
is,
a simple raise
Sure.
or something.
Yeah.
the only thing changing is the time around them. I think that's the big thing.
But I think the other thing that happened though is the other extreme is that they would have their people that work for them to come in and like, you're gonna sit with us on holidays and we're gonna do this, and you're part of the family and that kind of thing. So this is
The other half of that, I think, though, is him as this aw shucks yes'm.
Yeah.
I mean, we say, and through only the lens of this film, we can say maybe he just thought it was funny, endearing. Maybe he has a family member who's also notoriously difficult to get along with. Who knows? But in real life, the choice was to either make the best of the situation and bite your tongue and just kind of roll with the punches, or get fired, or worse.
Yeah.
And so,
sure.
I think that's a hard dynamic to, obviously, anything beyond what we see on screen makes it a different movie, and all of our kind of hypothesizing about it
Yeah.
would change the movie if any of it were true. We'll talk about it more as we get into it. I'm real conflicted on this
Fired
one.
up.
Well,
I'm not fired up.
It's a story, and it's a story that happens over time, and it's, even though, again, I think it's going to be harder for people who haven't seen it to watch it. There are younger people to watch it, because it's even Casey said, it's like just watching this, like I feel, it feels like I'm doing something racist.
I mean, even though it's the time and he's playing the character that he created, by the way, Morgan Freeman, but like, I still feel like this is wrong.
Right.
And even though it's true
sure.
to what it was supposed to be.
It feels like you're watching exploitation, right? Yeah. And I don't think that most reasonable people can watch films like this. I have a hard time watching The Help. I have a hard time watching, I mean, obviously, I don't know anyone who doesn't have a hard time watching like Mississippi Burning or those types of things. I mean, it's just enough to make your skin crawl thinking about the way that they were treated. It's nice that movies like this and like The Help can at least try to take such a stressful subject and turn it into something that at least a couple times through the movie makes you laugh and has something important to say and isn't just a total downer the whole time. But it's hard to watch something like this and just not, like you said, Casey, just kind of feel like you're doing something wrong or you're enjoying this dynamic, which, we're not, that you're, man. Yeah.
I feel like a good thing watching this movie, because this is the first time I'd ever seen it, gave me a really interesting perspective on the movie The Green Book, which is kind of like a roles reverse situation.
Right.
I feel like if anybody watches this movie, you should watch the other one because it's the same time frame, but
who was in The Green Book? Because that one's a recent one, right?
It is. It won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, you know what? Neither of them were big actors.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that, and I never did.
Yeah,
I forgot about it.
It's a great movie about...
And he's black, and the other guy's like a New York, like...
retired cop.
Yeah, like and he's the driver, but he's...
driving him around,
but he's kind of having to deal with his own stuff. Anyway, just like, it's interesting, like, to have the same time frame and the same stuff happening with a guy that's like an affluent like piano player. Like,
oh wow, I bet that would be really interesting though, to like right after watching this to go and watch that.
They add another element to it that I can't say because it's a spoiler, but it's very, very crucial to it, and it makes the movie. Like it's because when it spins, you're like, Jesus, like it.
I guess
that's
in my
all
head, like, no matter which way you look at the story, this time period is just fucked, and it just makes it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and
it is, and I think it, obviously with just as far as we have come with things, with relation with the world, God,
civil rights.
Again, it's fucking it's yes, right, as far as we have come with that. It still makes you but that's it. But again, it's a story, and it's a story that is probably pretty close to the way that things were for a lot of people, and again, she happened to live in this huge house, but when this started, Georgia wasn't a rich state, so when she would say like, I'm not rich, that's perspective, right? Like to her, she probably wasn't. And to him, she's the richest lady in the world. I saw this thing going around the other day about how when they ask poor people to describe rich people's houses, that most of us would be really surprised at what they say. And it's things like a second story, a basketball goal in the driveway.
Can I tell you what I thought rich people had when I was growing up?
Bowling alleys?
An irrigation system.
Oh,
no, I
sprinklers,
thought, if you had sprinklers in your yard, like underground, and it was on a system, you were a billionaire in my mind.
Yeah. Satellite
dish. If you had
ice for me.
That ice and water that came out of your fridge. Shit.
Yeah, I told you that just.
What do you do for a living?
The rich kids in my town, which was not a town with money, were the kids that had 2-story houses. When now, perspective, like the square footage probably was the same, honestly, if you think about it, because it wasn't like these big game rooms and stuff. It was just a hallway with bedrooms, and then downstairs had.
And joke's on them, they got to go upstairs to get the laundry.
Yeah, so weird.
Well, joke's on you. They had laundry chutes, so.
Well, joke's back on you because the laundry chute was broken.
Oh, damn! It's just a hole.
It was clogged up.
Oh my God, I'm going to do that.
Laundry.
What?
I have the perfect space. I'm going to make a laundry chute.
That's actually 100% doable.
Your kids are going to go down that.
No, they won't go down.
That's okay, because it's going to be, oh, God, this is wonderful.
You can pat it at the bottom. All right, guys.
I know exactly where it's going to go.
Let's dive into Driving Miss Daisy. The dogs. I feel like I should commentate. She had a wreck.
You all right, Miss Daisy?
Amy and Casey are blowing their noses.
I didn't realize that Austin was pulling clips again.
That what?
Awesome.
What'd you say?
I didn't realize Austin was pulling clips.
Oh, yeah,
again.
I know. I said, oh, yeah, you couldn't hear my mic. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just describe what's happening. She had a wreck.
That's funny. Also, whenever I hear that music, I think we're getting into a sports movie.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. So Hans Zimmer wrote the music for this.
Right.
It came out in 1989. This music it is so synthesized and like electronic drums. It just
I think he
I found it
only
so
used the
off-putting.
synthesizer. Like there was no orchestra at all. That's what it said.
Oh.
But why not period appropriate music? And I'm not saying that the soundtrack needs to be like the Forrest Gump soundtrack where it's just, Temptations and, the Beatles and whatever. But like, my God, it was so weird watching 1946 visuals with Hans Zimmer's thumping synthesizer music of the late 80s. Like, it was just so weird to me.
Zaldor wants everybody to know that, yes, Hans Zimmer did this, and he also did the last movie that Zaldor was on, Rain Man. And
that fit that time period.
Yes.
That was good.
That's the other thing that Kriplios just brought up. Who is that again? We know who that is, right?
Your ass.
I don't know. Anyway, they had dumbwaiters as well, where you could it's just these stupid people who could take food up. I'm kidding. It's like
here's your hot dog, sir.
They could take food and drinks and stuff down to the kitchen or whatever.
Like
which
a Dave and Buster's.
They have that at Dave and Buster's as well. Yeah.
They do have some fucking dumb waiters there too.
Yeah, they have both. They have some dumb waiters using the dumb waiters. Sometimes it can take forever to get your shit. All right. So as we get into this movie, I do want to say that when I picked it, I forgot. And this is something that I've brought up before, and I need to be more mindful of this. I think all of us do. This is a play. And plays make great movies. They don't necessarily make great movies for podcasts because this movie is all dialogue. Honestly, you could listen to this movie just in your car as a book on tape, and it would make all the sense. You really don't.
You could, except for the 20 minutes that they spend throughout the course of this hour and a half with just shots of the flowers outside of her house.
You just cut all that, though. The trees, or here's some brick on the outside of her. I was like, come on already. Yeah, you didn't.
I didn't know that this was a play.
You didn't find the movie very pretty.
It is pretty. Yeah. I just wondered. The cinematography was a little weird.
Yeah.
No, I actually really, really enjoyed it. I didn't find it slow or like they were trying to fill space with.
Now that you know
flowers
the play,
or whatever.
do you kind of feel like that makes sense?
I get it. Yeah, I definitely get it.
You can always tell. So it's like Steel Magnolias. When a play opens up, it's always like something like where there's action going on and people are going into different rooms and there's different conversations and they're setting you up and all this. And where this is obviously a different pace, it's the same thing. It's, he comes over, he's like, Mama, you're going to have to do this. Nope, I'm not either. And she's going this way and yada, yada. So, in no way do I think it takes away from the movie as watching the movie to enjoy it. Taking notes on shit to talk about though, and like thinking, oh, okay, this has to be a 3-hour fucking episode. I really all I'm doing is writing down shit that they're saying. So what I was getting at was, I think some of these things we got to be like, oh, okay, that's a play. You know what? If we only talk about it for an hour and a half, that's fine. If we don't find ourselves, because again, much of this is just them riding in a car,
Well, and even beyond that is a lot of it is body language and kind of the disapproving looks they give each other. Yeah. Even more than sometimes the dialogue is.
Sure.
Obviously, Hoke doesn't get to say everything he'd love to say.
No.
In his perfect world, but there are, glances with him and Idella,
yeah.
Idella. And yeah, so I'm
you notice
with you
in these movies. Most of the time, the maid or the cook or whatever her role is in the house, most of the time they've been with them for so long that they just fucking say what the hell else is what is on their mind, and then the person that's the employer or whatever just brushes it off, So it's just like, because she would like, you're going absolutely fucking bonkers or whatever. She didn't say that.
I don't remember saying that.
They didn't say fucking back then. They did a lot of it, I'll tell you that much.
But she did say, like, watch those peas, like when she was, tending to the peas or whatever, like, watch those peas and be careful or don't break those peas. Well, do I ever?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it was kind of right for her to say that because God damn it, if that bitch didn't spill those peas all over the place.
It's like she knew it was coming.
So you guys know that's where Spill the Beans came from, right? It's from this play. And it was because in the play, so it's not unlike E.T., whereas in E.T. they were Reese's Pieces, but in the movie they were M&M's. So it's the same kind of thing. In the play they were beans. And so in the movie, they had to change it for peas. It was a copyright thing. Georgia does not allow beans to be shook.
Yeah, those beans are...
To spill the beans is likely drawn from an ancient Greek process of voting, where the votes were cast by placing one of two different colored beans in a vase. If somebody literally spilled the beans, the election results would not be revealed.
Is that right?
Okay, well, great, Casey. Thank you very much.
I'm glad I know that.
So I wanted to say that because I enjoyed this movie a lot. I enjoyed it, and I actually would 100% watch this again, like soon, and not have to take notes through it, because some of the acting, you guys know how I get on the acting shit, some of the acting observations that I thought about pointing it out to Casey a couple of times, but then I decided not to fucking ruin it for her. But you could see him stage acting sometimes. Like there were times where he would he's done it so many times on Broadway that he would sort of like kind of get that deal where he made himself too big a little bit for the screen, and some of his arm motions and stuff like that, where he would normally settle that down a little bit for the camera. Just a few instances, that you notice, but again, that would be very, very difficult, I think.
He mentioned that in an interview time that it was kind of different, that trying to do the difference between the stage and the screen, and that the hardest part about it is that no matter what, whenever you do a stage performance, you get the instant gratification of an audience, and it won't matter. But then this one you have to look back on it later and then decide and then go back, and that it was kind of difficult doing those two.
That is the thing. What's weird about doing a play is that sometimes audiences laugh at something and sometimes they don't, and then there'll be a time in the performance where they just laugh at something and it's just like, okay, well, that's not fucking funny. Like what, just.
Oh, that would be so awkward.
I mean, it's bizarre and it changes. It's just, just how that vibe is in the room and what goes on. But he's amazing. I actually did not know that he developed this character, and it makes a lot of sense. I didn't either.
How old is he in this movie? Does anybody have? I can look it up, but
he's 80.
I just can't.
He's 84 now.
Eric, are you popping your knuckles?
And this is 30 years ago. 32 years
pop
ago.
My knuckles. I'm sorry.
I mean, that is fucking louder than John Madda's drums.
So he's early. Right?
Sorry.
Is that right?
What?
He's 84 now. It was 32 years ago.
I think, are you asking how old his character was or how old he was?
No, how old he was.
So he's in his early 50s.
Early 50s. Yeah.
Dang. He just seems like he's always old.
And she's 84 here. So, no, 79.
No. Yeah,
she's 79 here.
We had a little bit of a...
I thought they were both like younger, playing older.
She was still alive, and so I looked up how old she was. It said 85, and I'm like, "You're fucking telling me that this lady's only a few years older than you?" Like
she died at 85.
I looked up the pictures of her holding the Oscar. He's like, they just made her look old. And I'm like, the fucking makeup couldn't have been this advanced, and she's in her 70s.
I was wondering how old each one of them were in this movie. I didn't look it up because I got lazy, but I knew that she was definitely older because you can see her hands and the size of her knuckles. They're huge. Like you can tell how old a person is by their hands.
Like,
right. Sure.
I looked at my hands immediately.
Yeah, Eric, if you keep popping those knuckles that loud, they're going to get bigger.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to have like gross old lady hands because I've got boy hands. And I know that because one time I sent a picture of a middle finger to one of my niece's friends in middle school because she was being a dick. And on her Snapchat, and I thought it'd just be funny. I was trying to make my niece laugh because she was crying because these girls were being mean to her. And they called and they said, one of the moms called my mom and was like, your husband sent a middle finger to my 7th grade daughter. And she was like, that is not her grandpa. That is her aunt.
So her character is already in her 60s when this starts. Because she's 90 in 1973 and this starts in 48. So is that good math? Does that mean she's in her early 60s when this...
It's close math.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure. It's close enough for me.
So... This is interesting, and Eric, you're talking about how you just fucking hate her, and like just how I feel like this is that generation of the widow. She stays the widow, and she's just fucking mean to everybody all the time, and everything she says is negative, and everybody just goes, "All right, mama. Okay, mama. Okay, grandma." And that's just the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. Oh, honey, when we get over there, grandma's going to say something about your shoes, but she doesn't mean it, that kind of thing. Like,
I can definitely appreciate that. And I think it's important for the movie. And I think it creates the tension that drives this movie kind of towards whether you think that the resolution was good enough or not. It does drive towards that resolution. I think I fall squarely in the camp because I 100% enjoyed this, Jarrett, just like you. I cried in that last scene, but I just wish that I saw a little more remorse for the way she treated people for so long.
It's just,
it would have made me feel like she got it as opposed to just him just giving and giving and giving and giving, and at the end she does one nice thing at the old lady's
that's
home.
Not what was happening. That's not what was happening. No,
I don't
hold on.
Either.
She was showing it with action. She was supporting Martin Luther King. She was going to the dinner, whether her son wanted to or not. He's scared he's going to lose his business and all that. She's doing that because she's changing or whatever. Maybe her personality is the same, and maybe she's.
That's what I.
But but she wouldn't invite him to go to that speech.
She wanted to.
Just the fact that she would even fucking entertain it is a million miles away from where she started.
And we also see from his standpoint when she says, "I'm so happy that things are changing," and he goes, I haven't changed that much.
Sure, but
like it's nice that it's nice that white people are listening to Martin Luther King and paying attention. But
I mean, have
you looked around?
I feel like they give you some history on her, that she's not just some snooty old white rich lady, that she clearly did not have much. She's got the hardened heart of a fucking woman who had to work her ass off and, you know, and work her way up and obviously lose a husband and go through these things and keep what she has and fight for what she has. And I think that you kind of have to be that way. I think that.
Yeah. And
right.
she's just that kind of person that's not going to say, oh, I'm sorry. She's just going to not say anything and invite you to the dinner last minute, but still invite you. Or
I mean, I guess I can see that.
Guys, hang on.
She's not going to come out and just say, I'm sorry.
Hang on for about 20 seconds. I'm going to switch internet. 1 second.
It says it's working fine now.
This will be better, though.
No.
Okay, we should be back. And hopefully that's better.
I'm here, by the way. You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Wait for me.
All right. So anyway, I get your argument, Eric, on like wanting to see her come around full circle and, you know, be hugging him and you know, I just feel like
that may not be the realistic thing for people though. Like that isn't always the case.
And understand this too. It's not that she hasn't encountered racism. I mean, it's obvious that they fucking have, you know? I mean, because
her whole, like
they're Jewish in the South, you know?
I'm fully comfortable admitting that this is a me problem because there's almost every movie I watch, I would like there to be it to fade out and then it fade back in with a 5 years later and it shows that they're married with kids somewhere or that.
Totally.
I mean, yeah, she literally grabbed his hand and said, you're my best friend.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But so, I mean, that's just me.
He fed her pie, Eric. What more
Casey,
do you want?
Yeah. Will you please rattle or just kind of toggle my headphone thing, please?
Toggle it.
I got something.
Toggle his head.
Do y'all not hear like a shh? Do you have your right ear on or off?
Oh, yeah, I do.
It's in your right ear, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait, that did it. Oh, no, it's back. That did it. That's it. Okay, and you're good? What is that? That's the main line?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, sorry. Just a little bit of equipment there. Okay.
Just a little toggling.
Everybody back now? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So, you know, their relationship actually starts, right, with him going in to meet Dan Aykroyd's character and, you know, getting the guy unstuck from the elevator. Like, hey, you see that little doohickey up there? Hey, just mash on that thing. Well, what do I do now? Well, operate the lever, you know, like it comes on down. But just on their way up the stairs, he just goes, hey, man, y'all are Jewish, ain't you? Because, quite frankly, I'd rather work for the Jews. Folks say y'all are stingy and mean, but I don't go saying that around me, you know? I mean, I felt like it was such like he was already just very comfortable in himself. This guy had already been working and doing, you know, hold on. Sorry, guys. No, I lost a whole ear, so go the other way, I guess. Kind of mess with it just a smidge. Sorry, guys. Hello. Oh, wait, just mess with mine now. No, or just mess with mine.
It won't mess anything.
Sorry, guys. And we're back.
Just blowing it like an old Nintendo.
Yeah, you just fixed it. You fixed it. Well, I love that scene, going up the stairs and then just, you know, it's very important that he gets this across at the first. This sets up the movie. And again, I'm not going to just do their lines the whole time. But when he does tell him, he goes, look, here's the thing, you know, he asks, he goes, why isn't she hiring me? He goes, look, you know, you're going to be working for me. She can say anything she wants to you, but she can't fire you. He goes, oh, I used to wrestle pigs during killing time. Never let one go. You know, like, so good.
I love that.
No, and so you think back on that.
Take that into a job interview, by the way. If we ever go into a job interview, that should be a line.
Yeah, y'all Jewish, ain't you? Right.
No.
You 100% get that job. depending on where it is you're trying to go. I think that just kind of all of those relationships are super important to establish too. I mean, it's, he has this relationship with Idella, and, when they walk in, he walks in to introduce him to everybody. And he's just like, why don't you use the new vacuum I got you? She goes, well, it shocks me. Oh, no, it's over there in the closet. Why don't you use the new? Well, it shocks me every time. Well, it works for me. Well, then you clean and I'll go run your office.
I love it so much.
Oh, just amazing. Like, and that lady's thinking, listen, I used to wash your shitty drawers, you fucking,
I know you a little too well. Watch your mouth.
Don't talk to me like that, and quite frankly, a lot of times the maids, cooks, and stuff like that were the nannies too. They were raising the kids back then. It's like, it's not really unlike today, quite frankly. With nannies raising everybody. The first sort of hint at the racism thing that you get,
hi Jovi,
is if she pees, I'm going to be so unhappy.
Nope, she's just going to relay down. She's got a circle. Right. Yep, she good.
The first sort of hint at the whole, so this is where this is hidden is when, he starts talking about how, hey, you're lucky, you have this opportunity or whatever. And she goes, hey, don't tell me, about how, when we were on Forsyth Street, this and whatever, and then she starts using the word them and, and she's like, and we couldn't afford them. And he's like, okay, you can't just say them. And that's what I was telling Casey. I'm like, this is in 48. And this is how progressive Dan Aykroyd's generation already is at that point, right? Where he goes, hey, you're starting to sound like the governor. That's not a good thing, Mom.
Yeah.
And then, he's like, and she's like, I'm not prejudiced, and so of course therein is like, okay, here we go. Here's where we're going to get. And I just thought that there were a couple of really cute moments where she was a dick, but like, I don't know. I felt like he took it as sort of just being, all right, like, again, like, okay, lady. But when she comes in and she's like, don't talk to Idella. She has work to do. It's like, the fuck else is he going to do? He's sitting there in the kitchen,
You're not letting me do my job. So what else am I going to do? I'm dusting these bulbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Who cares if the bulbs are dusty?
And then when they're leaving, the Idella's like, I'm going, Miss Daisy. She goes, okay, see you tomorrow. I'm going too, Miss Daisy. Good. The guys, I think there's a great juxtaposition of, okay, this is the first day and the last time we see them seeing one another. Sorry. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
The last time we see them seeing one another, she, is just like, hey, son, why don't you go flirt with the nurses and let me talk to, this man who's been in my life for 40 fucking years with me there every day through all of this, helping me plant the flowers on your dad's grave and, all of this. It's just such I loved the relationship, actually. I really did. I think there's a lot of things that we can look back on, obviously as a culture now and be like, I wish it was this way. I wish it was this way. It just fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's very touching to me.
I think that what we kind of forget to acknowledge is that this guy represents a lack of independence in her life. Like, it's the taking away the car keys and stuff. Yeah. That's where some of her fucking animosity is. Like, this motherfucker is here because my son is paying him to stay in my house and take away my car. Like, I think that some of her shitty attitude definitely comes from that, you know?
And I feel like I would be the exact same way.
Like, fine, sit there all day. I'm going to the store.
Like,
fuck you.
Race, religion has nothing to do with it. It's just another person coming in to do what I should be able to do for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I would be a little salty too.
Although, I think we're the Uber generation. By the time that we all need drivers, we're going to be like, fuck yeah. Hey, I want it to be cool and I want you to not talk. Like,
Yeah, opposite. I would gladly have someone drive me around forever.
I say all the time, if I fucking won the lottery, like, that'd be my thing. I'd want a driver all the time. I fucking hate driving.
Oh my gosh, no. I can't I don't like riding in a car. I'd rather drive.
And the retirement homes now, you just bang and bingo, man. That's just it. You just fucking bang.
Oh, I told you I'm not putting you in a retirement home.
You just fucking
just stop asking,
like higher STD rate than colleges. It's fucking crazy. They're just.
I don't want to burden you, babe. Put me in
want to go to the old
Don't
folks
worry.
home. It's called the Mirage in Vegas.
Bang and bingo. No.
Fucking bang and bingo.
I'm going to have to start an old folks home. You, mom, and my dad.
Let's do that. We could make a whole bunch of money.
Although if my dad keeps dating younger women, or if this is like the one, like maybe that might take one off my plate.
You know, the other thing that he has, though, again, it just shows like how comfortable he is in his own skin. He's already not afraid to just tell her, like, hey, you're rich. You know, like, what the fuck are you? What are you so worried about? You know, like, you have zero problems compared to everybody else, you know? And then she gets into, you know, hey, listen, I grew up this. We couldn't afford to feed a cat. You know, my sister saved up so I could go to school to be a teacher. And okay, sure. Yeah. You know, it's important that we get all of that development and those conversations.
And now, Jared Goes to the Movies presents everyone's favorite podcast game show. It's time for 5 questions, where we ask 6 questions, and the high score is 7. Here's your host, Jared Reddick.
Welcome to 5 questions. We're talking about the movie Driving Miss Daisy. I can't wait to hear what you come up with that, Eric. In the porn world, isn't there? Or couldn't it just be called Driving Miss Daisy? That's that.
Riding
Miss Daisy is pretty good.
Dry humping
I'm
Miss
super
Daisy.
excited. Again, we have some amazing players here, and we have one newbie. Well, a couple. I guess you know you guys are established now. You know, 8 and 3. But joining us for her 3rd attempt at this, actually. She's got 23 attempts in total, and tonight going for her 10th win, which would get her that 2nd winner's plaque. Everybody give it up for Wendy Madda. Nothing. What's the matter with you? How are you, Wendy?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I got
Long
to
time
see
no
you,
see.
During my amazing trip to Ohio during Halloween, and that was a nice surprise, and got to meet your daughter and your daughter's boyfriend, and you know, they just like cuddle all the time and it's adorable, you know?
It was really funny because on the way down there, I was, you know, Jacob, my daughter's boyfriend, didn't really know who Bowling for Soup is. Now my daughter does. But I was trying I was trying to, like, I don't know, think of something that he might, might catch his attention. But I said, fun fact about Bowling for Soup, they sing the theme song to Phineas and Ferb, and he's in the back seat and he's like, what? No way! He thought that was so cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, no, he actually, I'm going to be honest. Here's the thing. And this is not be mean a dick, but I actually just, in situations like that, if I know the girl, if like she's a friend's daughter or whatever, like I seldom like boys that age, like whether they're, dating my daughter or dating my nieces or whatever it is. But he was great, well-spoken. He looked you in the eye when he talked, it didn't feel like he was being facetious or trying to be a shithead, so, maybe she's found a good one there. So, but it was a pleasure,
he's all right. He's
pleasure to meet him. All right. Good luck tonight. Also joining us, of course, you know him as the guy with the drunken sister-in-law. His name, he has maybe the worst record. Actually, no, no, I don't know. It depends on how many times Vinny has tried this. Give it up for Zaldor, everybody. How are you, buddy?
She's not always drunk. She's only drunk.
She's drunk. I didn't say drunk. I didn't say the drunk sister-in-law. I said the loud sister. Oh,
the drunken sister-in-law. Oh, you said no. You said drunken.
Well, here's the
sister-in-law.
thing. I don't know. Just
she hasn't been on the show in a while.
Loud
that's the problem, right?
I'll get her on next time. But I like when she's on, though. I mean, on your face.
Oh no!
Oh no! Don't.
Got him.
Hi-yo. All right. Also joining us, he was fucking late as shit, and I didn't even know. Don Petretta, everybody. There he is.
Get ready for some joke answers.
And one of our newest, but most newest, Jay Palladino is here, everybody. Give it up for Jay. Jay did a nice little Casey Kasem earlier, and it was really, really good. All right, guys. Whoever is drumming on your desk, please fucking stop that, because it's fucking...
I was about to say, are the troops marching in?
It's
What's
driving me
happening?
absolutely bonkers. It stopped, so somebody was actually doing that.
Actually, I don't know if it's that or you hear my son upstairs with his drum set.
Someone is actually drumming. Well,
somebody is actually
that's okay. Don't discourage that. Don't discourage it. And you know what? If the neighbors ever actually complain, and the cops come because he's up there playing the drums, you know what my mom used to do? She'd be like, "You can go back and tell the neighbors. I know where my son is."
Well, I'm waiting for Jessica to come out of her room with her hair on fire, yelling that her brother is being annoying. So that's surely coming my way.
I hope that doesn't happen for the sake of music. Okay, guys, Casey is finally here, so we can move on. I'm kidding. She's actually never here for this game. We're just that fucking late tonight. Okay, guys, question number 1 will come from me, and of course, it will be about the movie Driving Miss Daisy. Is everybody able to write down your answers tonight? Yeah, you know what I'm going to ask before I even ask it, Les. You've done this before. All right, guys, here we go. In the movie Driving Miss Daisy, how much was the cost of the can of salmon? Let me ask that again. How much was the cost? What the fuck is wrong with me? What was the cost of a can of salmon? She thought he stole a can of salmon. He did actually take it, but you know what? It was because those pork chops were fucking tough, and I don't blame him. And also, don't fucking make me eat the goddamn leftover pork chops. You know, what if there's
in the kitchen over the sink like a rat?
Sauce? You know, you never know.
I actually might take a rubbery pork chop over a can of salmon.
Yeah, I might too.
This is like when they first start, is like 1948 or something like that. At the first, when she first starts working for him, like, you didn't have a lot of choices, I don't think, you know, as far as preserving things. All right, guys, how much less was the cost of a can of salmon? 3 for $1. All right. Wendy, what'd you say?
Well, he said 33 cents for the can of salmon.
What is your name? I was trying to read your title down there, but I can't get it, giggity. Don Petretta. What does it say? Son of a bitch and what? Pants. Oh, son of a bitch and pants. Oh, okay. Got it. Don Petretta.
Naturally.
Get ready for the joke answers. I got $2.
Okay, Jesus Christ. For $2 you could buy a car back then. Wow. Okay.
I don't know much.
Jay Palladino, what'd you say? 33. That's right. 33 cents is correct, guys. I'll fucking keep my own score and everything. Hold on.
Jared, do you want me to keep score?
I'll do it. I'm fucking just going to write it down. Jay.
Only if that's a Snuggie, Eric. Do you have any hands?
And
Oh, okay.
All right.
I wish there were 2 more hands. I would have just
three of you.
Maybe
three of you with one.
feet.
Now, Dom, you didn't watch the movie at all?
No, I thought it was tomorrow.
Okay. Now, I mean,
I guess I don't know how to read.
Well, that's
listen.
Or that.
That's all right.
Daisy can
That's
help
all
you
right.
with
Okay. Well, I'll try to make this as simple as I can, but I've got 3 amazing players on here, so we'll just have to see what the best I could do. All right, guys. In the movie Driving Miss Daisy, how old is Uncle Walter turning on his birthday in Mobile? How old is Uncle Walter turning on his birthday in Mobile? Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. I think for the first time today, by the way, I heard Luke Bryan talk, and I had no idea that he actually talked like that too. It's fucking
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, he does.
Okay, Jay Palladino, what you got? All right, and Wendy?
90.
All right,
90.
Dom?
48.
Okay, Les?
Told you.
I said 95.
All right. Well, the answer was, of course, 90. So Wendy and Jay got that one correct. Les with the 1, and Dom with nothing, going into, of course, the next question. All right, guys. My mom, during when you're late for something, or when she doesn't go to something, she's always worried about what was being prepared just for her. There's always something happening there, and when they're late for this party, they're supposed to be there the night before. What was Minnie fixing for Miss Daisy that she missed out on?
For supper?
What was she fixing for supper? What was she fixing for supper that she missed out upon by not making it, all because he had to pee?
He had to make water.
Water. All right. Dom, what you got?
I have no fucking clue.
As expected. Les, what did you say?
I said
All right.
cake.
And Jay? All right.
Crab. So much trouble.
What did you say? All right.
Crab.
That was right. They were making her the crabs. You guys got that right. 2 of you. Jay with 3, Wendy with 3, Les with 1, Dom with 0. Guys, we got us a game, and this
is a shameful display.
Awesome. All right, guys.
We didn't do it as a tiebreaker.
We do it at the end now. That way he can save them if we don't need them. All right, guys. Question number 4 will, of course, be about the movie Driving Miss Daisy. In the movie Driving Miss Daisy, when son of a bitch in pants Hoke is talking to when he's talking to Dan Aykroyd, or as I like to say, Elwood Blues. And Elwood says, "Hey, do you still have that old Hudson?" He says, "No, I've actually got her second to the last car." What year and make is the car he's currently driving at that particular time in the movie? So he asks, "You still have that old Hudson?" He says, "No, I've got the second to the last car she had." What is the make and model of that? All right. Wendy, what did you say?
A 1965
right.
Cadillac.
And Les?
And I'll mute myself.
Wow. Jay?
1965
Okay,
Cadillac.
Nothing. Told you.
Okay. Just write something down, you know? I mean, all right, guys. Jay with 4, Wendy with 4, Les with 2, Dom with none. And this will be my last question. As we move on to the rest of the game here shortly. All right, guys. Good luck to you all. In the movie, okay. In the movie Driving Miss Daisy, what's her name? Odella, right? The Idella. It changed it to Odella in my thing, and I didn't think that was right. Idella had been working for the family since Elwood Blues was in what grade? Idella had been working for the family since Dan Aykroyd's character was in what grade?
Idella, I can't remember.
Got him.
Me neither.
Yeah, got himself.
All right, Dom, unfortunately, you're first this time.
Well, that's the number I wrote.
Okay,
first grade.
That's not a bad guess. Les?
I said
all right,
sixth grade.
Jay.
I said
and Wendy.
4th grade.
Oh my God.
I put 7th
You all
grade.
got it incorrect, actually. Sorry. Wait, where's my fucking laughter?
Second grade.
Okay. No, the answer, of course, was 8th grade. It was in the 8th grade that she started working there. All right, guys. Well, fantastic time for both of you. Sorry. I have way too much shit happening in the fucking room and in my ear. Like, my headphones are all fucked. There's crazy sounds and shit. I think it's still John playing the fucking drums, but it's fine. It's time for Eric's Off on Attention Game.
What is the name of the Graham Greene novel that Miss Daisy is going to return to the library that Booley says he has been meaning to read? I'll give you a hint. The book shares its name with a Don Henley hit song co-written by Mike Campbell from his 1989 album End of Innocence.
Wow. A great album.
Yeah, I gave you all the context clues you could possibly want.
Great record. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay, guys, that's a pretty hard question.
Super hard. But just think of every song you know from Don Henley's 1989 album, The End of Innocence. Compare that with the list of all of the Graham Greene novels that you know. And there should be one overlap, and that will be your answer. That's deductive reasoning.
I know one Don Henley.
All right, here we go. Jay, what did you say?
All she wants to do is dance.
Good. Wendy?
Boys of Summer. Boys of Summer.
Boys of Summer. Okay. And Les also said Boys of Summer. And Dom, what'd you say?
The only Don Henley song I know, Dirty Laundry. Incorrect.
That was
Why am I not surprised?
That was a great novel by him too. I agree.
Yeah, those are all good, but the correct answer is The Heart of the Matter.
I'm trying to get down to the heart of the matter. Oh, man, that's such a good album, man. It really is. Like, that one, Dirty Laundry's earlier. That's like fucking...
I thought so.
83 or something like that. Like, it's fucking...
I wrote it, and I was like, no, there's no way that was an 80.
Yeah, that's a good question, Eric. Okay, guys, well, that leaves us in pretty much a pretty wacky spot here. Les, first of all, I'm fucking proud of you for watching the movie, and you got 2 questions right that actually were not softballs. So, for the next 2 times you're on the show, I'm not giving you any shit about anything. All right. So that's a fucking great appearance by you. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, you are out of the game. Because
I think this is the first time it's ever happened where I've been knocked out.
Well, good, because this happens to people all the time. You got knocked out by a guy who, and this is a strategy and it's usable, who did not watch.
Oh, this was not a strategy.
All right, so Dom, you are in this. But we have to figure out who you're going against because Jay and Wendy both did their homework, but could not come up with the last 2 questions, so they are tied at 4. That means it is time for, and see, I don't have this either, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to make sure, but I don't think I have it. Nope. I'm sorry, I don't. So I'm just going to have to say it, guys. It's time for Eric Dillo's Jarrett Goes to the Movies Kidney Pete Memorial Celebrity Tiebreaker Question of America Awareness Pro-Am Question for the Cure.
Thank you, Jarrett. Thank you. So I've got London on my mind. Did you cry another time? I've got London on my mind. Did you look so satisfied? How many Spotify streams does the Clash's 1979 classic London Calling have as of 11 o'clock this morning, Central Standard Time?
That's from our first album in 1994. That song is almost 30 years old. That's correct.
That song is called London, for those of you who don't know.
It's not that great, but you know what? I was a kid and I was trying my best.
But London Calling is a good song. And how many Spotify streams does it have as of 11 o'clock
All right, Jay,
this morning?
Jay, you give me your answer first, please, sir.
685,720,302.
Eric, did you get that?
685,720,302. 685,720,302.
Now, I did give Wendy a bit of an advantage and let her go next just because she is up for a winner's plaque tonight, and it would be her second one. So you've heard that answer. Now, it's not without going over. You do just need to get closer. So what do you think the answer will be, Wendy?
I put 300 million, and I am not good with these stats at all.
Okay,
so
that's all right.
That may be true, classically speaking, but tonight you are good at this because the correct answer is 218 million and some change.
You know what?
So Wendy,
Jay, you fall for the same thing that I do. It's a radio thing. It's someone who's been into music for a long time, and you forget that radio plays don't translate it time-wise into streams. And even though that is a fucking timeless song, it's just not ever gonna be the fucking can't always get what you want. You know what I mean? Like it's just it. They do not. I mean, unless it's reverse, which is, today's music, which it's completely opposite. But anyway, Jay, that was a great game. Wendy, you are one step closer to that second plaque. Now, here's the deal. You have a decision to make. You can either answer Amy's super hard question, or you can pass that question to Dom. Now, ordinarily, the person with the least points just automatically gets the question. However, when the winners have a tiebreaker like this, we give the winner the choice, so that it's because they're that way. There's at least that advantage of it being somewhat in your control. So, Wendy, do you want to answer the question, or do you want Dom to answer Amy's super hard question?
Let Dom answer.
I'm going to be honest. I think that's a good move because you don't really know what Amy's going to ask you, and she doesn't always do this. So
it's time for Amy's question. It's the seventh question, and sometimes it's hard.
Okie dokie, Dom. We've got 3 different categories: hardcore, youngsters, or artsy shit.
I'll go with my favorite category on Pornhub, hardcore.
Wonderful. Youngsters. I know, I was waiting for youngsters.
Nah. Give me them milks,
Sharing a name with a famous rock star. What is Hope's son-in-law's name?
Ooh.
Sharing his name with the famous rock star.
Famous rock star. What is Hope's son-in-law's name?
I am actually going to correct this question, if I may.
Okay. Yes,
please. Did you do the research, or did Sean give you this?
I did it.
Because I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure that is hold on, it's his daughter's name, but it is, that's his daughter's name.
That's not who she's married to?
It could be.
Okay, his daughter's or son-in-law.
That's right. He either watched the movie or he didn't. Yeah, you're right.
If you know it, you'll know it.
Alice
Very
Cooper.
good guess, actually.
That's actually a really good guess. That is incorrect, though.
Tommy Lee is right.
Lee.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen. So the reason why I think it is his daughter is because it's spelled like L-I-E or something like that. Like
T-O-M-M-I-E.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were talking about it on the radio.
So it is his daughter, right? Anyway,
yeah, that's what I took the note.
The correction didn't help him. Anyway, guys, you know what that means? Huge night for Wendy. Wendy Madda finally wins that second wins portable plaque. You've done it, Wendy, and you know what? One step closer to your, that would be, so that's your 5th plaque win. No, that's your 4th. And so one step closer to your 5th. Congratulations. Zaldor, again, good job tonight. Dom, you had a chance. Alice Cooper was not a terrible, that was not a terrible guess, actually. And Jay, as always, you bring so much to the table. We love having you. Amazing Casey Kasem, by the way. And we'll see you guys next time, okay? Y'all be good. Thank you for your patience tonight, by the way. Appreciate y'all.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Piggly Wiggly. And home. Nowhere else.
Yeah. Oh, I just love the smell of a new car. Don't you, Miss Daisy?
I'm nobody's fool, Hope.
What? No.
My husband taught me to run a car.
Yes.
I remember everything he said. So don't you think even for a second that you... Now, wait. You're speeding. I can see it.
Oh, no, Miss Daisy, no. We're only doing about 19 miles an hour.
I like to go under the speed limit.
Yes, but the speed limit's 35, yeah.
The slower you go, the more you save on gas. My husband taught me that.
You ain't hardly moving. Might as well walk to the Piggly Wiggly.
Well, that can't be right? That
no,
you get.
I have like weird stuff like that in my head, like all the time. Like
Piggly Wiggly.
Sorry, I don't know what just happened there.
Nowhere else.
Like where I just think about it all the time. Like where my brother would be like, if you roll the windows down while you're driving, you waste gas. If you do the air conditioning, what? There's all these like things.
Eric,
I still have one of those. I always put the emergency brake on.
Anyway, so driving Miss Daisy. Well, speaking of like parked and waiting, she's well, there's two things here that happens where she finally gets to the grocery store and she like makes him wait outside and and you know, this is a little fucked up. She's like, yeah, and give me the keys. Yeah, you wait here. Give me the keys. Like, you know, I gotta make sure both of you are here when I come back out.
But don't you love that he turned that around on her later on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. 100%. And I
love that so much.
Yeah, that's a great little thing if you remembered that when he stops to pee, he takes those keys.
And the fact that he goes and calls her son.
Yeah.
And kind of mocks her a little bit is funny.
And but she does not like it when she gets picked up at the front of church. And this has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that freedom is taken away, and she does not want that. She doesn't want a driver because she doesn't want her friends to know that she's getting to that same age, that she, you know, they're not letting her drive a car anymore, that, you know, she's not allowed to. And this is advertising it in front of everybody, you know, you know.
But she claims that she doesn't want to appear to be putting on airs.
She doesn't want to seem like
friends.
She's acting rich. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like.
But her friends already know that she was a school teacher forever.
Sure.
You know? I don't know.
You're parked
right
in
the house that she lives in.
You're parked right here in the front, like I'm the queen of Romania. You know. Romania. She goes, they're gonna think I'm pretending I'm rich. And he goes, well, you are rich. And then she goes into the fourth thing, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, anytime you call rich people out for being rich, they need to tell you where they came from, and I think that's okay. I think, you know, there is a bit of someone who successful people, I think, that are like, you know, when people are just like, oh, but you know, you this and this and this. It's honestly, it's the reason why I think the moat joke is kind of funny. But I also hope people fucking know that it's not goddamn real, because I'm embarrassed about that, because I fucking still have to work really hard, you know? Like, it's just one of those things where, you know, so I feel like she's like, I don't want people to think that that I take all of this for granted, that I just have things, you know?
Throughout this movie, I was wondering if it was more her insecurities about people thinking that she was rich or having that independence taken away. I couldn't figure out which she was more upset about.
I think it's both. I don't know that. I don't think the rich thing like keeps her awake at night. I just think that she likes to keep up her appearances. You know, she likes to seem like she's self-sufficient, like that she, you know, has gotten to where, you know, however, whatever her and her husband did to get the things that they have, they earned it, that kind of thing. But
I feel like once I get to be older, I don't know, maybe I'm just, hopefully, maybe I'm being optimistic, but I think that I'm going to be like, well, yeah, I am older. I do need somebody to drive me around. I do need help, and I'll accept it. I mean, my grandmother, my dad's mom, was just hell-bent. She didn't need any help on anything ever. And it just seems like such a fight.
My grandma's 94.
All right, so
still living in her house, and my aunt basically has to live there now. And you know, she doesn't want to sell anything. She still wants to keep the car, and she's got, you know, all this. I think a lot of this is generational. I really do, and I
think so too.
And I think this, for me, this is my thing. Like, as soon as I'm a burden on you, or anything is a burden or whatever, then take the next step so that I'm fucking not. You know,
100%.
I think you're absolutely right. I think, and this is not to discount the work that any of us do. Jarrett, you work hard. Amy, you work hard. Derek works hard. I work kind of hard. But me working hard is literally sitting on my ass in front of a computer, like stressed out about deadlines, about DNS changes that didn't get updated, and like that kind of. Her generation lived through the Great Fucking Depression and like worked their asses off. My mother,
just to live,
sure, yeah,
just to exist. I mean, my mother, God rest her terrible, horrible soul. They grew up in a 2-bedroom house where mom and dad had 1 bedroom and the 6 kids had the other. And she talks about how they would sleep on the floor, which was linoleum in the summer because it was cooler than being in the bed. And Pawpaw getting up at 3 a.m. to deliver ice for ice boxes to people's houses, and then getting done with that job and going to his next job. And and that kind of stuff. And so my mom never, ever, even when my dad was doing really well with work and we were better off, never bought clothes for us that weren't on sale, never splurged on anything. So I think, Jarrett, you're right. This is generational. And especially when you're looking at a movie that starts in 1948, you know, she lived through 1929, you know, stock market crashes, Great Depressions, world wars, where, you know, you did without, even if you had money, you did without, let alone if you didn't have money. So, and I think that there is just something, because you're right. My grandfather would never have let anybody do for him. My dad probably wouldn't want people to do that for him, but I know that in his will, he is starting to, you know, consider his own mortality and not wanting to be a burden on us. And for me, it's like, just pull the plug the second anything goes wrong, because I don't want you guys to have to deal with it. And I don't want $1 million in medical debt when I get, you know, if I make it through all this. That's how we are too.
And my dad is the same way. Like, he doesn't want anything to be done for him. And he's a baby boomer. So his generation is, you go to a retirement home, you're going to there to die. Like, that's all that is. Yeah. It's just a death home. And he's like, well, you know, just take my favorite shotgun, just take me out to the back before that happens. Mm-hmm. And okay, just let me know which one's your favorite. I don't want to use the wrong one, but you know, cool.
Also, you make it to 410 and he survives, and that's even more fucked up.
You know, that man, damn it, he would survive.
Yeah, you know, my dad's 84, and he actually just got a thing on his eyes this last week, but he's very much anti-doctor, anti-anything. Like, you get him in there for something, he's like, do all you're gonna do, because I'm not fucking ever coming back here. You know, like, once that, you know, and just impatient and all of that stuff with things like that. Whereas my mother is, everything that could possibly be wrong with her is wrong with her. But again, I don't think they're ever gonna give up any sort of freedoms, and they're fucking in it together too, man. I mean, it's just like, that's just it. But I am not like that. Like, I mean, it's like, fuck it. I mean, so my ex's grandparents went to this retirement home, and it was badass. And like Bob Lily's mom was right next to him and shit. And they it was like a college dorm. Like I said, they all went to eat and they played games all the time.
Yeah,
and shit.
You're just banging and bingo,
and
right?
They just banged and bingoed all the time. And it's not as cool as having your own place, but at least if you fucking fall down, somebody's there, I don't know, man. I just feel like my outlook is, if I can have my stuff, which they had their stuff, like if I can have my stuff, then, that's fine. Because I'm sure I'm still going to be writing hits, like 85.
Well, I feel like once we get to be real old, we'll all be kind of living in the same house anyway.
We probably will be. That's probably true. Yeah.
And if you can find a retirement community that has a moat around it, you'll feel right at home.
You're right. And that's true. And goodness gracious. Okay. Well, we talk about the salmon thing kind of a bunch during the game, so I'll leave that. But I will say that when she says that he stole the can of salmon, we see where she still is on this, or at least where she is at this time. And this is still early, but she pulls the days out again here. And she's like, they steal and they this and that, again, he's just like, yo, mom, it's a 33-cent can of tuna or whatever.
They are like children, and they just take what they want.
Yeah. It was like, Jesus Christ, but you know what? That's written to shock you like that. It's written to, but again, it's funny. I think it has more of an impact today than it did when this movie first came out. Again, because we have made progress in that, or at least I don't think. You know what? I can speak for myself as far as just like being, growing up and yada yada. Just like this was fucking a little bit. Those things were a little tough to sit through, but at least again, I'm going. This is reality, right?
Yeah, but watching it back in 1989.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody noticed the word they.
Right. Well,
that wasn't
probably not nobody, but definitely not everybody.
Well, not nobody. Yeah, not everybody. Not like it would be now.
Yeah, exactly.
For this watch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's jumping ahead a little bit, but I think the most uncomfortable I got, and probably most people, or some people, is when these state troopers roll up on him and they keep calling him boy. Mm-hmm. And now, not 1 minute later, they 100% use the N-word, to describe him and her.
Yep.
But I think obviously we've come a long way with overt racism, where like nobody reasonable that we know just goes around using racial slurs.
Right.
But this boy thing is it's not as overt, but it's still meant to make you feel like less. And even though you're a grown man.
Yeah.
And I remember, when I was in middle school, high school, we would say to each other, like locker room, you're my boy, you're my boy, Blue, that was in the thing. But I remember distinctly one time being at my mom's brother's house, who grew up the same way on the wrong side of the tracks, and saying, you're my boy, Uncle Dean. And he just stopped what he was doing and was like, I'm nobody's boy.
Right.
Those words carry a lot of more weight than, obviously, than they do now. But that was as uncomfortable as I got in this, was that little, just dehumanizing, kind of under the radar, racial speak to make someone feel like they're not a man and you are, and that's awful.
Here's the thing, though. That particular word is very interesting that you brought that up just now because, hey, I got all the rest of the wine in my glass, just FYI. Yeah. Sorry. I was watching Yellowstone. I won't give anything away if you guys are not catching up right now, but cowboys use the word boy for the kid who is, you're nothing. You're going to work your way up to this. I think biker people do that. You're the boy, right? You're this.
Wow, that is a good observation. I didn't put those two together.
It is just such a low thing. And here is these police officers, as you bring up, calling this grown man, who's working for a living, and you think, Jesus Christ, just because of the color of his skin, you're going to call this guy boy, and he has to fucking take it because he just crossed into the most racist place, I guess, that we have. And that was very, very uncomfortable, but I had just watched that episode of Yellowstone, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like that fucking word. People don't like that shit, man. That's and it's I think back to Howard Stern, for example. When Baba Booey first started on that show, his name was Boy Gary. And that's the way Howard treated him, was like, you're my boy. Like, you're just a servant. You're like, that's what that word means, is you're lower than dirt. You're fucking going to do whatever I say. So you were right to feel uncomfortable, when he said that. It's just interesting that it's still around,
I think that this is the reason, and look, I'm no, pearl clutcher, prude, but I think it's the reason that when Eller says, hey, bro, sure. Hey, bruh, and we've talked about that before, and I'd say to him, I'm not your bro, and part of it is just probably me being cranky and, not with it.
Yeah.
But I think the other part of it is like, we're not bros. I'm so glad that we have a good relationship and I love you like crazy, but we're not bros. I'm here to
Eric,
discipline, and
I got to solve this for you. I've gone back and forth with this, and it really didn't become a thing at home until, the last year or so. But people talk like that now. And girls and boys, and they call each other bro and this. It's just like us using man. Like, yeah, man. So, yeah, bro. So it's not like you and I, if I say, hey, bro, what's going on? Or, hey, brother, what's happening? Like, I'm saying to you, like, hey, mad respect, we're friends kind of thing or whatever. They literally use the word bro like we used to use the word man.
But I think I see what Eric's saying, and it's like, dude. But you're trying to keep yourself on a level that is not your friend. Hey, man. Hey, dude. Hey, whatever. That's not how you talk to your father.
Okay, but we do though, don't we? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I do.
I mean, like,
I would never.
So, never.
No, I wouldn't. No, but I talk to the air like that. Like if, for example, so here's the example that I use is like, when Jack was pissed that me and his mom went into the doctor's office with him when we had that consultation a couple of weeks ago. He didn't want both parents in there. She wanted to be in there. I've been through what he's going through. We were both going to fucking be in there, and that's it. And he got pissed about it. And he wasn't talking to anybody, but he was just like, man, this is just so stupid, bro. Like, I don't want to be in here, bro. Like, what I mean? So it's like, I could see myself at 14 going, man, this sucks. Man, I don't want, you know what I mean? It's literally the exact same thing.
But he's talking about being addressed directly.
I understand
as
that.
his father. Like,
sure.
I feel like you do have to keep a sense of respect. A little bit. Nothing crazy. It's not like you're being like, say yes, sir, motherfucker. Like, which I am like Sam household.
Both of you guys are right.
I would have never called my dad dude.
No.
But I'm certain that I said.
I called my mom dude all the time. She hated it.
I'm like,
dude, mom. I'm not a dude.
Or but I guarantee I was just like, man, give me a break, or something like that.
How'd that go over?
Well, he probably fucking looked at me that way that he does, and I probably pissed my pants.
Yeah, I get.
I don't think I would ever call my dad dude, bro, man. anything.
Here's the deal.
He would. He'd
Plus, fucking Eller's
Yeah.
Eller's 6 years
when
old.
the kids are little, they're just hearing what they're fucking watching on YouTube and shit. The key is that when they're older, like Jack's age or whatever, all you gotta do is do it back, and then they don't want to do it anymore. It's not cool. Totally, bro. Like, what? Why would you say that? 'Cause that's
I don't
what
know.
you say, man.
I see what both of you are saying. I just think the bro thing to me was super annoying for a long time, just seeing it on television, all of this, and the fucking bro, and this
He
and
doesn't
bro.
like when
and
girls call each other
when
bro.
girls call each other bro, to me, I think it's fucking weird as shit.
But you think that about me because I've always called my friends dude and man.
That I've gotten used to. I get all that.
I call my friends dude.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I call him man, and that's
you do man, and that's fine. But again, baby, we've been together. Like now,
we are man. It's a human race.
Anyway, you fucking.
I understand the evolution of human language to where what it meant then isn't what it means now. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to be
you just don't like
a little pearl clutching granny, with my fan getting the vapors because my boy said, hey, bro. But God, and again, generationally, Jarrett, maybe you agree with this, maybe you don't, but I feel like I'm a lot more laid back than my dad ever was. And I'm sure my dad felt like he was a lot more laid back than his dad ever was.
You actually,
it's laid back as fuck around here. And I just want this much respect or just, admiration for the fact that I do work my ass off and have very little time for myself. And so would like to not be called bruh.
Dude, and listen to me. It's burps at the table, right? I don't fucking mind if you burp ever. I draw the line at it's not fucking polite to burp at the table. Don't burp in front of my parents or anything like that. So it's those guidelines. It's like, okay, then, then you tell that you're perfectly in your rights. And I agree with you.
Here's my opinion.
He shouldn't call you bro.
If our kids say something that I think is like kind of like funny or endearing or just like whatever, it's like haha. But realistically, our kids shouldn't be calling us anything that like we wouldn't appreciate, like a 12-year-old kid calling us outside of a gas station. Like somebody's 12-year-old kid calls me bro, fuck you, kid. Like, where the fuck's your mom? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a disrespectful shit. It's just not how you talk to an adult. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like somebody else's kid calls you like, no, come on, bro. Like, what do you feel like that kid's a douche?
To everybody's point, yes, we're a laid back generation. And yes, you are more laid back than your father. That's by default. We're all getting more laid back as we go. But so are kids. And so their respect and the way that they respect older people or their elders or strangers or whatever is also getting more lax because those of us raising children, some of us, are getting more lax in making them actually fucking show respect to people. And here's the thing. This is a goddamn episode of fucking Rockstar Dad Show. I mean, look, the thing is that, and what I told, and this actually happened, Jack said, and he's just like, and he starts to address the nurse or whatever. And I was like, it was the nurse at first. Yes, ma'am. And this kid's 15 years old. And he starts to, okay, yes, ma'am, or whatever. And then he leaves or whatever. And I'm like, listen, the way that you spoke to her was disrespectful. He goes, yeah, but I'm just mad about that. That doesn't mean that you get to disrespect people. So that doesn't mean that. And you know what?
I think that's a really big lesson. You know what? Coming into play right now.
That kid, for the rest of the doctor's appointments that week, or was yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and fucking doing his shit. Mm-hmm. So don't let Eller call you bro. That's your fucking burp line at the table, man.
And I would also like to just put on the record that I think Eller does respect me, and
he's just a cute little kid that hears that shit at school right now.
Exactly. It's not near as meaningful to him in the way he says it as it is to me the way I receive it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everett yesterday said mother trucker and butthole. Called somebody a butthole. And like, even though I think that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life, I have to be like,
I think butthole
hey, maybe
hilarious.
Not butthole. And he goes, butt crack. And I'm like, maybe. Like, I don't know where the line is. Like, I don't know.
Tell me what's inside of your butthole.
Yeah, I don't know. That shit's kind of funny, but you can't call somebody a butthole. I always feel like you can't say shit if you're going to get in trouble for it at school. Or sometimes he'll say something like, is it okay if I say crap? And I'm like, just don't say it at school.
Yeah, I was
I
allowed to say crap at home, but I wasn't allowed to say crap at my grandmother's house. That rule got established by my grandmother, and I didn't fucking say it.
There's a lot of words I don't care if he says them, but I just want him saying them from like somebody else's parents and being the kid that says crap and butthole and mother trucker.
I don't think we honestly. I don't.
Somebody's kid's the middle finger.
I think within our group. We got to keep that shit on lockdown, and it could get embarrassing or whatever. Within the realm of any of the outsider satellite or whatever gets coming into our lives lately, we have shit to fucking worry about. They're the ones that have.
Everett had to write a handwritten letter. I never even got it to her. I hope it turns up at some point. That started with like, "Dear Miss Amy, sorry I showed your kids the middle finger," and that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Amy's gonna frame that shit.
I don't even know where it is. He wrote it, and it has. I don't know if it's like surfaced since, but I fucking like had to like leave the room because he was very somber in his writing his letter, and it was the funniest.
I gotta know if that ever shows up because that's the funniest.
It's definitely gonna pop up somewhere. It never got thrown away.
Lucy just said, "I never said a single curse word until I was 19," and my retort to that would be, "How did you sing along to my songs?" All right.
Radio version.
Yeah, Disney Channel.
Well, I guess that's true. That's true. Well,
Shake It Right.
Another really touching moment, though, is when she figures out that he can't read. Again, she's stern with him, but it's a caring sort of stern thing where, she's just like, hey, it's right over there. Well, then, okay. Well, then you're going to say the ba. And then she gets him through the rest of it. Okay, so it starts with the B, it ends with the R. What about the middle? That's all you need to find it. Go find it.
What I liked was that I don't feel like the intolerance was like, oh my God, you can't read. It was like, no, you don't get to say you can't do this. Of course you can.
100%.
Let me show you that you fucking can. Like that's
she's like, I taught the mayor to read. You're going to learn to read. And
I loved this scene a lot.
So good.
And it was
but again, she wasn't overly effusive or flowery in her treatment of him. It was pretty on brand for her.
Yeah.
But also,
actually, we have that clip. Let's watch it.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm supposed to lead into it. I was supposed to lead. This is after he finds the fucking thing. Sorry.
If you know your letters, then you can read.
Well, fuck.
You just don't know you can read.
Ma'am?
I taught some of the stupidest children God ever put on the face of this earth, and all of them could read well enough to find the name on the tombstone.
Well, yes, let's see.
The name is Bauer.
Yes.
Bauer. What does that B letter sound like?
B?
Of course. That's the last part. Bauer. What letter sounds like
Aura.
So the first letter is a
B.
And the last letter is a
Aura.
B-R. Even sounds like Bauer, doesn't it?
It sure do, Miss Daisy. It sure do. That it?
That's it.
We ain't gonna worry about what come in the middle.
No, not right now. That'll be enough for you to find it. Go on now.
Yes, all right.
Well, Sean, leave that conversation in there anyway. It was a good conversation.
I laughed out loud twice. I know this isn't like supposed to be the laugh out loud. I laughed more in this one scene of this movie than I did in the entirety of The Love Guru or Beetlejuice combined.
Yeah, I still do not understand it. By the way, hold your point there. Hold your point. Because I do want to hear what you have to say, but I have to say this now. He still thinks I'm fucking with him. Eric still thinks I don't think that movie's funny.
It's not a bit. It is a fucking hilarious movie.
It's not only is it funny, I talked about it on the cruise with people going, dude, I just watched this movie, The Love Guru. It's one of the fucking funniest movies I've ever seen. And like, I was looking up the thing where I'm just like, cock, and it means this, and I'm telling people about it and shit. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, now back to your point about driving Miss Daisy.
When she goes, I have taught some of the stupidest children that ever walked this earth. Yeah. And Kelsey's over here doing her teacher stuff on the computer while we're watching. And I just look over like, how amazing is this? And then that part where and it's just a little throwaway line. He's like, we don't worry about what's in the middle. She's like, nope, not right now. And I just chuckled out loud. God,
I like the way that he says aura.
Yeah.
Aura.
I just think that hearing like I can't read and her being like a teacher of young children, like that has to be such a trigger because of course when you're teaching children how to read, they're going, I can't do it. Like, no, fucking just stop. Like, like I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
she went straight into teacher mode. Like, no, fuck.
Yeah.
Listen.
No, it's like
I'm going to tell you
teaching kids to swim, right? Just I can't do it. Well, you're kind of doing it already.
I never taught any kids to swim.
No, well, me and Amy have.
How did everybody feel about the accents, the Southern accents in this movie?
Everybody nails it except for Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
Doesn't he have that same accent in the one where the little boy, where Macaulay Culkin dies from bees and shit? Or is he not Southern? I think he's Southern.
My girl. South.
Do you know what other?
I don't know. I don't think it's too far off, though. I don't. In My Girl, it's not super Southern, but he does have a weird something.
So
do you know? Hold on. Do you know what? Do you know what movie he also plays the father in that features Jaret Reddick as lead singer of Bowling for Soup?
Ghostbusters.
Coneheads.
Nope.
Crossroads.
Okay. Free Britney.
Oh.
So Morgan Freeman's from Tennessee. So he's from the South. He's a Southern dude. And so obviously the others are not. And apparently the director was from Australia.
Right.
And so they all had to take note from Morgan Freeman, like through everything to like just make sure that some of these Southern dialects were like even like close at all because nobody on the fucking set was from the South.
Interesting.
And so, because again, it's his character and he's been a part of the thing. He was the only like Southerner like in it.
Sure. I mean, you don't get any more Southern accent really than Georgia,
Georgia.
What are you, stupid or something? Savannah, Georgia.
It's like a molasses just kind of dripping out of your mouth.
I think of that every time.
That was really good.
What is that from?
From his amazing impression of people from Georgia.
From Caleb Crawdad and Miss Juju, whatever.
What's the slutty one? Oh man. Shit.
Beatrix. Oh, damn it. I don't. Debutante.
Well, I'm going to move on from The Office. I think one thing that you have to look at here, if you start to think that Miss Daisy is that big of a dick to her employees, you just got to take one look at Florence or whatever the fuck her name is when she's dealing with Katie Bell about how she forgot the coconut.
Well, how are you going to serve ambrosia to 50 people?
Don't serve ambrosia.
And in all the scenes where he's on the phone in her house, you can just hear her screaming at people that work there, and it's fucking crazy.
So is she who Daisy is talking about in my favorite line of the movie? And if it doesn't happen here, my apologies. But is this who Daisy is talking about when she says, I reckon if I had a nose that big, I wouldn't be saying Merry Christmas to anybody.
100%. She's the one she's always says, well, she was invited or, and yes, 100%. That's exactly what she's talking about.
That Jew on Jew hate.
Yeah.
Oh,
was so palpable.
Right.
And she said the thing, like, if she starts singing, I swear to God, which is so funny because this actress is like a fucking Tony Award winning like singer, which is hilarious. But like, I guess that was a thing, like back in what fucking year are we here? Like 50s, 40s?
What do you mean those days?
So we've got to be, well, no, you're out of the 40s here. He's been driving her for a while.
I was going to say 56.
Apparently it was like
probably like
common.
Late 50s. Yeah.
Apparently it was pretty common for like younger, because of course it's the older generation, the like just Jewish families to celebrate Christmas just to like blend in.
To try to fit in.
Especially in the South.
And that's the reason why they had Christmas parties and things like that, was because they're also mixers and things like that. So when they drove up and they've got the Santa in the yard, you know, she's just like, oh my God.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. I had a friend named Shanna Siegel in junior high, and she actually had like the generational thing happen to her. Like she had never gotten to celebrate Christmas, but then she had a little sister named Katie, and they started getting a Christmas tree for Katie. So she's like, I went through my whole life, never had a Christmas present, never anything. And now they get her a Christmas tree and there's presents under the thing and shit,
Well, you know how it is when a whole flock of seagulls get together?
Mm-hmm.
Just terrible music.
Oh God, I don't know.
Awful
Just
hair.
cut this last 5 minutes, Sean. Jesus.
What? Nothing about flock of seagulls
I
because
said
it's
it.
seagulls.
She
but
said
seagull. I
terrible
know,
music.
but Jarrett, I know, but you.
What? You have their
you
haircut
like a
now. I don't
jerk.
know what you're talking about.
Okay, if anybody
Oh my
in here
God!
has
If
their
one of us
haircut-
is any closer,
Exactly.
exactly.
Okay. All right. You guys reading from the same script? Fucking ridiculous.
Hi, Derek.
Hey, Derek. The dog does not want to go out. All right.
You just woke her up.
No, okay. Well, the whole thing going to Uncle Walter's birthday sets us up for that next scene. But I do think that that's one of those things where I think as people get anxious, especially old people, right? It's just like, okay, we're, supposed to be here at 7. He's there at 7:03. She's already brought everything down the stairs. You said we were leaving at 15 to 8, already getting in the car and shit.
I have never related to a movie character any more in my life than I related to her, because there are a lot of things that I'm just, oh, well. And there are some things that I'm just, oh, well, that have had pretty serious negative consequences in my life. But being on time to shit, or what I perceive to be on time for shit, is like, okay, we're flying out next Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, to Ohio to go visit Kelsey's mom. And I think our flight is at 7. And I am sitting here a week and a half before. I am sitting here a week before going, okay, so
you need to get there at 2.
Exactly. The day before Thanksgiving lines, even though our flight is one of the first ones in the morning. But this is my entire life. Even coming to the podcast, I need to leave at 6:45 to be there in time to get upstairs, get my computer plugged in, say, hey, how's it going? And start the show. And if it is 6:46, my shit starts to get crazy. So I understand, Daisy, if you said we're leaving at 7:45 at the latest, then do not show up at 7:15. Show up at 5:45 so that we can make sure we have 3 hours to get all the luggage downstairs.
If I'm on time, I'm late.
Yes. I would rather sit in the parking lot of wherever I'm supposed to be for 30 minutes than to walk in there 1 minute after when I thought I was supposed to be there.
Me too.
I am always 15 minutes early, and my friend Katie is always 15 minutes late, which results in me sitting in a parking lot 30 minutes every single time. And that's such a weird, I can't imagine that existence. And she'll go, it's so annoying that you're always early. And I'm like, I feel like it's more annoying that you're always late.
Yes.
Right.
But I live in a different time zone with Jarrett.
I am always late to pretty much everything. I don't think it's funny. I'm not proud of it. It's, I just have a tendency to overestimate my ability to get places quicker.
Except for pool parties.
Overestimate my ability to finish something that I started before we went. I forget things, it's just,
no,
again.
that's Derek though. Like he thinks that we've got 3 minutes before we need to be in the car to go somewhere. He's like, I'm just going to take a quick shower.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, that's Rob Felicetti right there. That's not me.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then clip his nails and do all I do need to shave my face.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. We'll be there.
Right.
Great.
We are going to get
and me
there.
And the kids,
because
the car is on. We're in the garage and we're the car is in reverse and we're just waiting for him to get in.
I do feel like
because I can see, like, if you just oh shit, time got away from me, but I cannot leave this house and be in public without just a quick bird bath. Like, I got to get my shit.
Bird bath.
My mom calls that a horse bath.
And then his nails are clipped, but then there's a pile of nails and he goes over and puts them in the trash can and oh my God, this trash can is full. And I guess I need to empty that. And it's that kind of shit.
Yep.
I understand emergency needs to be a little bit late because of some serious thing, but all this ancillary stuff that starts happening.
That even though I'm always a little early to stuff, for some reason, I don't feel like it stresses me out when you're running late either. Like, I feel like I'm fine It doesn't bother me. I feel like we've kind of gotten to the point where like, okay, if we're going to the airport and you say we need to leave by 12:30 and it's like 12:20, I just start loading the shit into the car. Like then while you're finishing up your stuff, like I don't feel like that like affects me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That makes me happy for
Airport's different, though. I mean, that's you got to admit that's different. I got that shit on lockdown, and it's not ever a fucking. I mean, you know,
we never leave the time that you say we need to leave.
No.
Is there a website where you can look at what the TSA line?
There is.
Yeah.
There's an app.
Okay. One of y'all send that to me because I'm terrified of this.
What time is your flight?
There's a TSA app and a DFW app. You need both.
What time is your flight?
Like 7 a.m. on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving.
What airline?
Kelsey, type in the chat, if you will, if you're 3 feet away from me in the other room.
So you don't have status? No. I'm being serious. Listen, most people who fly have fucking status. This is not a fucking thing. I'm asking.
I haven't flown anywhere in 3 years.
Okay, here's the thing.
Oh goodness!
At 7 o'clock in the morning, there will only have been about, maybe 20 or 30 flights that have already gone out because you're going to have to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. You could easily show up at 5:30 and you're fine.
Okay.
I think he's right.
No, I am. I'm telling you right now.
Are you checking bags? Are you carrying on? What are you doing?
But I also will start packing tomorrow.
Yep.
For that flight next Wednesday, and Kelsey will start packing at 5 a.m. when I said we need to leave at 5:30.
We both pack in the morning that we leave.
Yeah, and she starts before me. I mean, I'm still doing shit, but
just pack everything on a carry-on.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
you're going to be
fine. If all the kids are going,
I can do the rest of the show.
Each of the kids get a carry-on and a backpack. Like, you guys can do carry-on. It's fine.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go. I got to go pack.
Fucking right. What? A bunch
You're going to do great.
You forget your fucking gray T-shirts? What the fuck? What do you need?
I'm also really happy that
a bunch
I
of
don't
gray
have to
T-shirts.
I'm just saying, like, just fucking put in like a toothbrush and some socks, and you'll figure it out.
I'm telling you right now.
That's not how. No.
Oh, are you parking a car?
Yes.
Are you gonna park like right there at the thing, or are you gonna try and like park remote and shit like my dad?
I have never parked remote. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's the stupidest thing in the world.
And it's too much relying. It's too much relying on somebody else's schedule for my shit. You're not in danger of missing a flight, so you can just lollygag your fucking ass shuttle around the shit without,
Also,
with impunity.
If you're parking at the terminal and you park at Terminal C when you're departing and you arrive in Terminal A, please make sure that you get on the shuttle before you leave to go to baggage claim, please.
I have done that.
Oh yeah, she's saying ride the train. Don't fucking go out there and depend on the truck.
Well, then how do you get to the baggage?
I waited for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
same. We did that with the kids.
No, you send one person on the train to go get the car. The other person goes to baggage claim, and then they come pick you up.
Also, if you look at the morning and you're in Terminal C, fucking leave earlier because that parking sucks.
Oh, you guys can go get it as a family.
You're gonna do great.
What? Okay.
I'm not. Greer is going to handle this better than I'm handling it.
Well, I'm going to get back to this movie. This actually is a way longer podcast than I thought it would be. We're fucking killing it, guys. Sean's only going to have to cut out like half of it.
Content.
Yes. What do you think you're doing with this car?
This is my car, officer.
Yes, ma'am. Can I see your registration, please? And your license, boy?
Yes, sir.
What's his name? Worthing? Worthing. Never heard of that one before. What kind of name is that?
It's a German derivation.
German derivation. Mm-hmm. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Well, that's enough deviled eggs for now. You know, I mean, oh shit, sorry, buddy. I didn't know. You should just hold it up or something.
Eric's
opened. All right, we're moving now.
And that these troopers wish nothing more than that they could find some reason to just drag his ass in, or worse, getting put in jail in a situation like this in this time period is the best case scenario. If you're out in the middle of nowhere,
Alabama.
Jesus
I
Christ.
thought, I've never seen this movie, by the way, but I thought this scene was going to go very different than it did.
Right.
I was actually pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. It could have. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, and again, unfortunately, a lot of times it did, you know, back in the day. This is another good reason to watch, what is it? Green Book? Yeah.
Green Lantern.
Watch the Green Mile if you want. It's just not the
Green Inferno. I think Inferno, if you want a heartwarming.
Green Inferno.
Fried green tomatoes.
Didn't we just watch the Green Inferno, and that's just where they ate Jonah? God damn, man.
Yeah,
that's where they just ate Jonah.
Yeah,
poor Jonah.
Fucking ate the shit out of Jonah.
I bet he was delicious, though.
He did look good, especially those calves, you know. Good Lord, man. Just make a calf sandwich, Jonah calf sandwich. You ever had a Jonah calf? Jonah calf sandwich?
Yeah, I'll take a chunk of that Jonah calf.
Well, we talked about him having to get out and pee and him taking the keys and stuff. And, you know, then she's like at the party or whatever. And like, she just came from where her son is. And I was just thinking about how like back in the day, it's such a big deal when somebody called, you know? Like, so they're like in the middle of the party, just like, holy shit, your son's on the phone, you know? And she like runs over like, oh my God, what's going on? It's just, you know, I know I just left there this morning, you know?
Yeah, but that's the only way to make sure she got there okay. You can't just like shoot a text.
I know, but the thing, it's just a funny thing about how like, oh my God, everybody quiet down. Aunt Bessie's on the phone. Okay, now hold on now, just a second. Little Jackie's going to play you a song there on the fiddle. Hold on. You know, that used to be a thing. Not anymore. Now we just send videos.
And on the other hand, it's November 15th when we're recording this, and I have answered a grand total of 2 phone calls this month out of what must be 100 that have come in. Yeah. I didn't want to answer those 2. It's just,
it's such
like
a weird
one was
thing.
my mortgage guy. You know, so you have to.
Why
can't you just email me like a normal person? You asked me to send all these documents to you by email. Why can't you just email me back?
What is it? What took you so long?
Oh, I couldn't help it, Miss Daisy. This big mess I've done.
What's the matter? I might as well not go to the temple at all now.
No, you ain't gonna be able to go to temple this morning, Miss Daisy.
Why not? What in the world is the matter with you?
Somebody done bombed the temple.
What? Bombed the temple?
Yes. That's how come we stuck here so long.
I don't believe it.
Well, it's what the policeman just said, okay?
Oh my God. Well, was anybody there? Were people hurt?
I don't know. You didn't say.
Who would do such a thing?
No. You know good as me, Miss Daisy. Always be the same ones.
You know, I mean, and here is them finding common, you know, they're in that car where they pretty much, their entire relationship, for the most part, has existed for all of these years, right? We're probably in, I mean, this ends at 73. So she has her dementia thing in like 70. So this is a few years before. This is several years before that. So this is in the 60s, right? Oh no, because here the Martin Luther King thing hasn't happened yet. Anyway, the point is here's common ground, right? I mean, this is fucking racism. This is terrible. This is.
I think it's the moment that she realizes, because she does say earlier in the film to Booley, I'm not prejudiced. 100%. I've never been prejudiced. Mm-hmm. But I think there is a difference between being prejudiced and kind of being ignorant to what that entails for some other group of people that's living through it.
You can be tolerant and still be kind of prejudiced.
You can be tolerant and prejudiced. You can also just, you can make statements like everyone should be equal without understanding how that inequality affects other people.
Sure.
And that's not just race, sexuality, anything that kind of separates people.
But I think big thing right now, right? Where people are standing up on their fucking soapboxes and going, everybody should be equal. It's like, okay, but just remember, we're not just talking about the shit we've been talking about since back then. Remember, we're doing this stuff too now, and then they're like, whoa, wait a minute, what? You're saying?
No, I don't. Not all that.
Wait, just 1 second here. When did we add that?
But this is the point of the movie where she realizes that not being prejudiced maybe isn't quite enough. Mm-hmm. That understanding how these things affect. And so then he immediately goes in the same scene into that story about when he was a little boy and his friend's father, which is a very, very powerful scene in this film.
And he plays it perfectly. He's so good. It's crazy because that's a very hard story to tell. And the way that he tells it to her is fucking perfect. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, this is what I saw. This is what happened.
Yeah. And then he says, I bent over and threw up right there where I was standing.
Yeah.
And this is not some once in a lifetime thing. This happened all the time.
This is the only scene of the movie I missed.
No.
Oh, you missed this? Yeah. Oh, shit. This is a good one.
I didn't see this.
It's a big one.
Well, just watching her listen to it.
I didn't think I was going to do the podcast in the first place. And
watching her listen to it. And then, so essentially he tells a story about he and his friend just one day are playing with their dad, with a friend's dad. And the next day, some men came and hung him from a tree.
Jesus Christ.
For everybody to see. And, yada, yada, yada. And it's fucking terrible.
Pretty important scene in the movie.
It's fucking terrible. But what he's doing is he's saying, like, look, this happens. People are fucking evil. This is happening to you. This has happened to me. This is, this is what.
Because she says, who would do such a thing? And he says, it's always the same
who
people.
that's it. Well, that's before he says it, right? Okay, so then it's always the same people. Then he tells the story and she says, why'd you tell me that story?
Yeah.
And it's
because the same people who would bomb your church are the ones hanging my friend's dad up in a tree.
Yeah. Fucking crazy, man.
And
at this point, we don't know who's hurt and, all that shit. And
I thought there was going to be more of a resolution with the church thing. Like, was she going to know who did it? Was anyone hurt? And then it just wasn't addressed later.
So that's the thing about this, though, is that you really can't, because it's a play, you can't get into any like real specifics.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it weighs it down. It's information you don't need because it's not happening in front of you.
And you can kind of fill it in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this entire film was kind of a series of what I thought or expected to be the climax or the kind of main conflict of the film that ended up being nothing. But then there's the next one, which was maybe when she didn't invite him to go see Martin Luther King. And I thought that was kind of build into a big thing, but then it, ebbs and flows back down. Then there's this, her church got bombed and they had already made it a point, that she's a very devout, Jewish woman who goes to temple, plays mahjong with her, friends. But then that's nothing. And so the whole film, again, this is not me criticizing it. Just as I was watching it for the first time last night, I kept thinking, well, what's the big one, right? What's the big thing that we all have to overcome or whatever? And it never felt like we got really anything.
You didn't need that because it's 30 fucking years of a relationship. And
no, I agree. I'm just talking about like, as you're watching it and kind of, that's what you expect from movies, right? As a,
I didn't feel like the inviting him to the dinner was a conflict. To me, I felt like it was her testing the water to see if he would have went, and him going, yeah, he just needed to ask me kind of thing. I get she should have done it earlier, and she's wrong for not doing that. But just the fact that she even brought it up.
She wanted to convince herself that she was right in not asking him.
And he
didn't provide that for her.
Okay.
I think she needed validation because she thought she knew the situation better. And I don't think she was validated in it. And that's why she sat in that speech fucking looking at that empty chair going, wow, I guess I'm not as fucking woke as I thought I was. Like,
right.
He was disrespected by her not asking. And just like Casey said, I don't need to expand on it. She said it exactly right.
Well, here we get to the part where Domitian sets in or whatever. And he's doing everything he can and she's following her around. And be like, listen to me, there's nothing wrong with you. Stop it. The minute he comes in here and sees you, he's calling the doctor and that's it. And to him, he's like, they're going to haul you off to the insane asylum. That's probably because that's probably what happens in his world. That they don't have the money to send them to, to these extravagant places where it's like, okay, here's your delicious Thanksgiving meal prepared for you right in front of you, he's been, I love the fact that they continue the story of the fact that he just kind of keeps buying her cars. He's at this point, he's got her second to the last 1965 Cadillac, and then of course we have the best friend thing, which I think is amazing. That house.
I love when Booley says, why didn't you just buy it from Mama?
Yeah.
And he's just like, no.
Yeah. I don't want any part of that.
I'm not paying her every month.
I'd rather make payments to the dealership.
Yeah, for a higher price. Fuck yeah.
Well, when they pull up to that house, it's sold, but it's been 2 years. And, she had been talking about how bad he sees. Well, obviously it had kicked in because he's got those Coke bottle sunglasses.
Oh, man. His eyes got bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the movie.
He's not driving anymore. And his granddaughter, who's 37 and teaching biology, I wrote down because that
college,
could have been
badass for the time.
Could have been a question.
Well, at Spelman, though, like a historically black university.
Yeah, but she's a woman, too. That's a fucking big deal.
Yeah, that's badass.
Woman.
Man, you hard-hearted harbinger of haggis.
Shut the fuck up. Do you know the whole thing? That's so crazy.
No, it's the Harriet, hard-hearted harbinger of haggis, unknowing, unloving, or something, unloved.
God, that movie was good.
Mock.
Yeah. Bird.
Yeah.
All right, Mama.
This is where she throws the necklace into the ocean, right?
What movie is that?
Hoke, I thought of you the other morning on the expressway.
Yes?
I saw an Avondale milk truck.
Is that right?
Yeah, big monster of a thing. Must have had about 16 wheels.
Go on waiting, yes.
Yeah, I wondered how you might like driving that thing around.
Hope came to see me, not you.
Look like one of her good days.
Mama Florine asked me to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. She's in Washington, Remember, Mama, she's a Republican National Committee woman now.
Good God. Foley, go charm the nurses.
She wants you all to herself. You're a doodle, Mama.
Well, it's a great scene. And that sums it all up. And then as he's, feeding her Thanksgiving pie, she asks, if he's still paying you. And he's like, yeah, how much? Well, that's between me and him. Highway robbery. So
and the one thing she could never outgrow was her hatred towards Booley's wife.
Oh man, just every little so ounce of her. And
because, she's now part of the Republican Junior League. Because, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, and I think
fucking tale as old as time.
I feel like they sort of give us that through the whole movie of like, hey, she was invited too. She can come to this too, and she never shows up. And obviously, there's two sides to every story. She was there when she dressed him up like a cowboy, and she obviously was not that receptive to that. But relationships. What are you gonna do? Oh, Mama. Look, I don't remember again why this movie got picked. I guess Eric is saying it just got brought up, and I'm like, fuck it, let's just do it.
I think it needed to be on the list.
This is considered it's probably in the top 100 movies of all time as far as
it has to be.
It has to be. And
fun trivia fact.
Okay.
Even as of this year, this is the last movie rated PG to win the Academy Award for Best Picture.
Wow.
No kidding.
That is a really good piece of trivia.
I think it's still the only one that's like based off of a Broadway play too.
The only movie ever?
No, that won an Academy Award.
Oh.
Gotcha. No, because My Fair Lady, which is awesome.
Off-Broadway?
Well, it must have been awesome because that's the reason they didn't go to Uncle Walter's birthday party. Yeah. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
Yeah. This is a fantastic movie. It's a fantastically acted movie. To me, I love things like this where you literally watch them, develop as adults, as people, whatever the case is. I love this relationship. I love the fact that they, that just the son, took care of his mom from the time that she was, she was only 60 years old and still there he is,
One thing that's just really quickly, just because you brought up the son, like Dan Aykroyd, I watched a bunch of interviews and stuff, and he was kind of they kind of were real smug about him doing this movie. Like, this isn't like your usual Ghostbusters thing. And he'd just go, well, I think it speaks for itself, like the way it's selling. But he was not taken very seriously whenever he did this role. And
sure,
I think he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, I think he did a good job. I mean, I think there's a couple of times where his accent's a little bit hard to take, but I think he did great. And, he's in a few other things like this, but this is the 80s. This guy at this point at 89, you got to think, Blues Brothers had only been out 4 or 5 years. Yeah. This is pretty early in his departure from being hilarious.
He seemed bothered in the interviews because everybody was like, was this hard for you? And I think that he realized that maybe he wasn't being taken seriously as an actor. And so I think this kind of maybe made a turn for him because he had done more serious
It probably was a really big turn. Yeah. Well, I love it. I think this movie is fucking fantastic. I 100% recommend you watch this. If you are a listener and you have not yet watched it. Eric, what do you think?
I agree with you. It's interesting because you wouldn't think for a movie with almost no action at all that someone could be like on the edge of their seat, but I was the entire time. I wanted to know what was about to happen. I was nervous. I was obviously it's a tough watch for a lot of reasons, but this is probably one of the top 10 movies that I've been a part of the podcast that we've watched. I couldn't recommend it enough. If you've got a heart for the plight of people who, I recommend it, and I think it's an important movie in the history of cinema. It's important, and I couldn't recommend it anymore.
He liked it. Hey, Mikey. This one's heavy for you. I can tell, and probably because you haven't seen it before, and obviously, again, you're so much younger than I am, and obviously we come
20 years.
We come from two completely different worlds. I get that. Casey, you weren't even going to watch this. And I started it while you were.
Talk about edge of your seat. Like I wasn't going to. I was gonna. Our day consisted of what it did, and then he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna start this movie, and then you can go finally lay down and rest." And he started it, and I just kind of started it with him, picking up around the house and doing stuff, and then I sat down, and then I kept watching.
She was picking up because we had we kind of still lounging around from the weekend and such. She's just getting caught up on that before Everett gets home from school.
And then I'm watching.
But she keeps asking me questions. She's like, okay, wait a minute. What's the deal here? And so I stopped it. And then next thing I know, there she is just laying with me watching it.
And then it's like, okay, wait, but when are you going to finish this? I'm going to catch up. And then by the end of it, I was like, fuck it. I'll do the podcast. So I've been hacking in this microphone, trying not to fucking die this whole time. But it was such a good movie. And I'm so glad I got to watch it. Obviously it's a reference. We're a movie podcast. We're pretty caught up on pop culture when it comes to cinema. The fact that I'd never seen this, I needed to watch it, so I'm glad I did, and I really enjoyed all of it. I think that it was very well made. I think the play thing is apparent. I think that even if you hadn't told me that it was a play, I probably could have picked up on that.
Right.
Because it is the kind of Steel Magnolias vibe.
Yeah, you can just sort of tell.
But yeah, I loved it. I loved the relationship. I think that it was really well done. I think that there could have been... it could have shifted 1 inch to the right or left and not been well done, and it was. But sorry.
Well, again, one of the greatest movies ever made. Man, Amy,
I loved it.
It was
good.
I don't believe you.
No, I actually really did. I went into it thinking that it was going to be older. I was going to appreciate it like I should because I knew that it was going to be this whole. Everybody talks about this movie. But I sat down and I watched it, and I loved this movie. I didn't know who picked it. I didn't know why, but I loved it. I think it was perfect.
I figured you were gonna like this. I'm glad that you all liked it. I'm glad I picked it. Again, when it first started, I definitely thought to myself, well and out loud, shit. The fuck are we gonna talk about? And obviously there was plenty. So
don't ask Sean what he thought.
Oh yeah, sorry man, I keep forgetting he's here. Sean, what'd you think?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Did you watch it with Amanda or?
I asked if she wanted to watch it, but she said no. So I watched it. I watched it with my cats.
Oh, okay. Now, were you doing other stuff like video editing or anything while you were watching it?
Yeah. You know how it is. Blue October and Lions in the Gate.
Yeah. And then now you've been traveling too. Did you have to watch it while you were traveling or?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got to watch it at home?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm really glad. So, and you enjoyed it, or I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about this film is that it is reminiscent of a 1964 Romanian film. So maybe I'll put that on the list.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that'd be great. Right. I know the girls would really enjoy that. Well, thanks.
Called Cannibals in the Car.
Thanks for all you do. All right, Eric, I believe we have 2 text messages.
Oh, do we? All right, let's look. Oh, you're right. Do you have the music or you?
No, I don't have shit.
Pop into it. Okay. Hey guys, I got caught up on the episode.
That felt good. That felt right.
It was
Matt Damon.
Now I hear it. All right, there we go. Hey guys, I got caught up on the episodes and loved how you guys enjoyed my last attempt of my comedic career on the Glengarry Glen Ross episode. So here's a new one for you all. Call a girl beautiful 1,000 times and she won't think twice, but call a girl fat just once and she'll remember forever. P.S. They say elephants never forget. Love you guys. Keep it up. Jason Cordova.
God damn, Jason.
Okay.
That is fucking...
Jason,
that's not funny.
That
doesn't feel
was
right.
a swing and a miss. I don't remember Glengarry Glen Ross, and if the joke you said or sent in then was funny...
Always be closing. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
That's good, but... okay, guys.
Hey, hold on.
No, go ahead, Amy, because...
It was an
this is
elephant
important.
thing, right? I mean, they never forget.
They never forget.
I mean, it's not a bad joke.
Oh, because you called the elephant fat?
Yes.
No, the elephant lady.
But it's got to be yerble.
Sean, what'd you think about that joke?
I thought it was funny.
See?
Yeah. Did you think it was rude or anything? Or
No. Why would I?
Okay. All right. Well,
See?
okay, you're right.
I think there's one more.
Oh, there's one more text?
Yeah.
Is it?
They come in and the texts. And
Why are you already laughing about it? Did you put this in because you think it's funny?
No, I.
Oh
no, I got my-
dropped. Oh god.
Yeah, I got my wires crossed.
Okay. We just spent a week on a cruise ship with David Dooley, and so that fucking is
Dude,
just so
he's
fresh in my
I'm
brain.
telling you, he's my secret weapon. I've just realized over the last, few shows that Dooley is literally, my secret weapon. I mean, because he just laughs at shit and everybody else laughs. Anyway, let's get this other thing going. I can't believe this. Oh, no, we were late. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Guys, sorry for those horrible jokes. I just want to bring some viewer listener. What happened? What?
It's just funny.
Go ahead, dude.
Hey, sorry about earlier.
Why did all three of you start? Wait, what happened?
It's obvious what's happening here. Go.
Guys, sorry for these horrible jokes. I just want to bring some viewer listener mail segment, some humor. Don't be upset. Just remember, you may lose your phone and wallet, but at least Shakey's still there. Alicia Keys still there. Jason Cordova out.
Okay,
that one.
That's fucking funny. You may lose your phone and wallet, but Alicia Keys still there.
Yeah.
Is it bad that I like the elephant one better?
I like both of them.
Tell me the elephant one again.
I just thought it was funny that he said it, and then it was like, hey, sorry about earlier when I said.
Yeah, that's fucking funny. Okay, wait. Tell me the elephant one again.
You can call a girl beautiful 1,000 times. You call her fat once, and she'll never forget because it says an elephant never forgets.
Wait, were those connected?
Yeah, because fat girl, like elephant.
Yeah, man, I don't fucking get that shit at all. All right. Well.
I get it.
No, because you're fat. Like,
for you.
Don't call me fat, man. That's not fucking cool.
No, like PHAT.
Oh, I get it. Right. Okay. Right. Just
pretty hot and tempting.
Right.
What a fucking weird time in the 2000s.
Ew. So weird.
Eric, how can people find us?
On our website, which is jarrettgoestothemovies.com. On Facebook, Jarrett Goes to the Movies and the Jarrett Goes to the Movies fan page. On YouTube and Twitch, that's where we live stream these things. That is Jarrett Goes to the Movies. You can subscribe, and we would ask that you turn on notifications.
Fuck you, Rich.
On Instagram... on Instagram and Twitter at Jarrett Movies. On Patreon, that is where you can support the little podcast that could. Join the winning team at patreon.com.
Sorry.
Yeah, Will, what?
No, it's Tim. And he was just like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay, thank you, Tim.
Tim,
what did you think of Driving Miss Daisy?
Hey, she's hot. I felt like a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
first time.
For being 81, Jessica Tandy is pretty good looking.
Yeah.
Okay. You can email us at jarrettgoestothemovies@gmail.com. Or you can text us or leave a voicemail. The number is the same either way. 714-451-6029.
It was an amazing movie, but I've never seen it before. I watched it this week.
God, that's my favorite conversation with Tim you've ever had, actually. So good. I fucking love it so much, man.
That's a very bad rule.
I know. It's fucking fine.
It's not really a rule per se. It's just, we're trying to do a show.
Yeah. Well,
I just find it
funny. We are.
We'll go to fucking Quick Trip.
I'm not going anywhere. I just, show's almost done. I am out of beer, but I'm not. Okay.
Yo.
Fuck you, Tim.
But I'm
Fuck
fucking
you, Tim.
drinking. What are you talking about?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right, we'll get you out of here. Guys, thanks for sharing. Jason Ellison, Dave Richter, Woody Chambers, Rich Schneider, Caleb Crawdad, Joey Bishop, David Kendrick, Celeste Mary Meadows, Clarissa James, Barry Ferguson, Simon Rogers, Deb Utant, David Cunnell, Tommy Miata, Tess Green, Chris Pulse, James Dowell, Voodoo Mama Juju.
There it is.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. Tyler Curry, Jay Palladino, Beatrix Bourbon. What is that?
Is this pre-done?
Michael Payne. What? Plus 7 private shares. We appreciate y'all. Hey, make sure that you turn that shit on.
Don't share your privates unless people ask.
You
for
do
them.
whatever you want to do.
7 times?
We get notified when people do private shares?
Gross.
Well, I don't know. It just depends, I think, how old they are.
Sean just makes that shit up. It doesn't.
I think so, too. I'm going to be honest. I don't understand the private share thing. Like, how does he know if somebody shared it, but it's private? Or he just doesn't give him credit?
No, because it'll say it's been shared however many times. You can only see the people that have done it that are not private.
There you go.
Also, you guys guess who is the number 245th most popular movie review podcast in Russia?
This is the podcast.
The one above us?
Yeah, Our Lady Peace movie review podcast.
Oh, God.
I was watching this movie and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah? What movie was No, I don't have the energy for it.
But you know what I thought about this movie? I almost thought it was like a remake of Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah.
Some would say Driving Miss Daisy is similar to Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah, I guess I could see Jessica Tandy's character Daisy being like
a Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan.
What are they doing? It blew my mind. I was like, I'm trying to figure out what this movie is.
Okay, we're gonna get out of here.
Bye.
We'll see you all next time. What?
Okay.
Hey, I don't have any intro or outro shit, so y'all in the chat, thanks. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Both of you.
We'll see you. Thanks for listening. We'll see you down the road.